Page 52, we're talking about generosity. So, Rabbi Avraham has to tell us the obvious thing of Imi lehetiv. Who should I share with? Meaning I have to be generous, but to who? And with what?
Oh, Rabbi Yoni.
So, Rabbi Avraham says, V'hanadivut ha-meshubachat. At this point, you can just add a link to our donate page. V'hanadivut ha-meshubachat, proper generosity. Hi lo shiotzi adam mamono al acherim be'ofen ze o acher. It doesn't include spending money on people. K'fi shemevin hamon et hamusag hazeh, the way common people would say generous. Dahainu rak le'anik mezonot harbe l'mi shizdamen lo. Maybe give a lot of food to whoever comes your way. U'letet matanot b'shefa al kol ma shekareh b'darko, giving gifts to whoever comes in our direction. You know, generous doesn't mean that every person that comes to your house, you open up a table and roll out meat and chickens, and that's generous, but it's not what we mean when we say generous. Yeah. Going to someone's bar mitzvah and writing them out $10,000 checks, that's generous, but it's not the generosity Rabbi Avraham is talking about. Ela hanedivut haniskeret, rather the generosity that we're referring to, shehi min hamidot haterumiyot, that I've called, Rabbi Avraham says, the lofty character traits. Pirusha, it means sheyeh adam nadiv umetiv mima shechanano Adonai taneh le'ele hatzrichim uruim lechach. Rather, it's the sharing of Hashem's gifts with those who are needy and deserving of it. What does that mean? That means that not every person that comes your way requires your generosity. Not every person has to shower with food and with money but there are some people that come your way that really do need it. And it's maybe more than just money and food. Generosity, Rabbi Avraham is saying, is something that you have that other people might not, and they need it. I've said this very often, that people can give, it's not just about money. Someone's good at something, that's what they can give to someone else. In fact, the Gemara is full of scenarios where a person doesn't have money to give to a Torah scholar. But instead what he does is he's a very good businessman. So he says, listen, I have a business. I'm going to open up a second business for the Torah scholar. So when I do my business, I'll also do his business. And I don't have cash in a bank sitting somewhere that I can give. But instead, what the term that Chazal used for this is one who does business for a Talmid Chacham. Meaning this person is good at business, not good at holding on to money. And so he does what he does best and passes it on to whoever needs it most. This can be done in a number of ways. There are some people who they're good teachers. So if you have to volunteer your time, if you teach for a salary, there should be a time that you teach for free. That's your version of tzedakah. If someone is a Torah scholar, they're Chacham Ovadia would say people sitting in kola. He said they also have to give maser. So they have 10 hours a week so 1 hour they should go somewhere to some school, to some bet midrash, to find a person who doesn't have access to a tutor for his bar mitzvah or whatever it would be, and to give back to that person, and that's his tzedakah. Why is that any less tzedakah than the one who gives someone $50? His time is also worth money. But we've limited tzedakah to just financial tzedakah. But there are many other ways that a person can help that are not just financial. And when a person comprehends this matter, you won't have any more this division between the rich people and the poor people. No, nobody will feel left out about what they do because everyone is doing. Some give from their sweat and tears, some give from their... And sometimes, and I've seen this, that sometimes the people who have a lot of money that give, it's not nearly as meaningful to them for them to write out $1,000 check is like you giving me a quarter. It's not a big deal for them. Yeah, it's a big deal for us, but not for them.
Yeah, but when they go and donate their time, or they go and help out with the
right. A person who is taking from the time from his family, is taking the time from his vacation, that person is really giving of themselves. They're immersing themselves in something. There's something to be said for that. So Rabbi Avraham continues and he says, Ki hu yitareh, because Hashem hanadiv hamushlam, He is the perfect, the ultimate benefactor. Lo kava et hatzura sheyadat b'mizgo shel chamor or sus, ela b'mezag ha'adam. So Hashem didn't give intellect to a donkey, to a horse. Because a donkey and a horse, there's two ways to understand this. Either they don't need intellect, or they're not capable of using it for anything.
Some kind of a...
He only gave it to Adam, to human beings. Now, this is a classic thing in the world of Chazal, especially in medieval Jewish literature, of separating the world into classes: humans, animals, plant life, so on and so forth. Rabbeinu Avraham is telling you that there's a person that comes your way, that you give him something he has no use for. He doesn't know what to do with it. So are you generous? Or are you giving him whatever you have to give him? An example. They say once that, I don't believe it's a true story. One of the Israeli prime ministers once went to visit Bedouins in their camp in the Negev. And at the end of their trip, the Bedouin leader said, it's our custom that whenever you come to our home, and you're a dignified individual, you have to, whatever you want from this tent, one thing you can choose, you can take with you. So I said, come on, I'm the prime minister, I don't need to take anything, please, I just came to respect you. He says, no, it would be embarrassing to us if you didn't take something. He says, that coffee pot that you gave me coffee in? I'll take the coffee pot. Okay, so he takes the coffee pot, singing and dancing, he leaves. 2 months later, he invites them for a visit at the prime minister's home, and he invites the leaders of all the Bedouin tribes, and they come in. And he says, before we eat, let's go wash our hands. He says, okay, they will all start walking to the backyard. He says, no, you don't have to go to the backyard. No, here. He turns on the faucet and water comes out, and they can't believe it. See one of the elders, he turns it on and off. And on and off. He can't believe there's such a thing as a faucet. He's so amazed at it. So after they finish their meal, the prime minister says, I would like to return the favor by us. Anything that you want. Anything that you want to see in my palace, you could take from me. So they put their heads together, and the leader says, that faucet, we want one also. We don't want to have to go to the wells anymore. We don't have to go walk to the river. We want our own faucet. He says, please, I'll get you one. And he sends them a faucet and to their Amazon Prime, or he just sends it over to them. And they come to him the next day, and they're picketing outside of this. What's going on? So, we got your faucet, we put it on the wall, and no water came out. And he said, what do you mean no water came? Did you attach it to the water? He said, we don't have a water system in the Negev. And the understanding of the story is, I use this in Mashal sometimes to tell you that, you might have the proper tools, but you don't actually have the connection to Hashem to receive the shefa He wants to give you. Hashem says, this is the way that you're going to get water, and we decide, no, we just want to put it on any wall that we want. But here, in this way, the Prime Minister giving a gift to Bedouins who don't have a water system underground is a useless gift. It might be useful to somebody else, but to them it's useless. Hashem says, I know who I'm giving what. These people, this is what they need. Those people, that's what they need. The horses, the donkeys, they don't need free will. They don't need intellect. That's not what they're created for. And then he continues. ולא עשת מזונותיה של הבהמה חסרת היגיון מובחרים ורבי גוונים כמזון האדם. He hasn't made the food for the animals as varied and exciting and different as the food of human beings. An animal can eat the same thing every day its whole life. Grass, water, animal feed, water, all day. Human beings, we can't eat the same thing every day. We could if we needed to, but we like one day to have meat, one day to have dairy, one day we like to have parrot, one day we like to have chicken, and every time it's something else. Human beings, Hashem gave that food because they need it more than an animal does. An animal doesn't care if today you give him chocolate cake or tomorrow you give him, it doesn't make a difference to him. He'll eat whatever he eats.
We don't know.
We don't know. Hashem tells us that's what the animal doesn't care.
Refined taste.
V'lo asa, that's a good refined taste. V'lo hitiv b'torato. Now this is a very interesting line. What does it mean? Is very interesting. V'lo hitiv b'torato. Hashem did not give a gift of the Torah im hakofer haturki or hasudani. He says Hashem didn't give His Torah to the heretical Turks or Sudanese. Why these people? Seems like in the times of the Rambam and Rabbeinu Avraham, these two nations were nations that had no religious text, no faith, no. It's kind of like when the Khuzariya refers to the non-Jews in India. It's like it's a nation that's not very developed. He refers to them as the Sudanese and the Turks. And so, what would they do with the Torah? They don't even. Other nations have a concept of a God. Maybe they have 30 of them, but they have a God.
There are so many gods in India.
Oh, okay. They have a concept of a prayer book, but the wrong one. So when Hashem gives them the Torah, He refines them. But people who they have no. It's not. They're not even in that ballpark. Giving them the Torah is useless. And Hashem does not give prophecy to someone who's undeserving of it. Says Rabbeinu Avraham, think about this matter and then act upon it. Connect to this matter. Meaning, not everything that you want to give to someone else is something that they actually need.
Do we have any profit now?
Today,
Yeah.
we officially don't
Uh,
have any profits, unfortunately. We could have if we wanted to, but we don't. We have to work hard. Am Yisrael, we're children of prophets. You could be a prophet.
no.
But really, yeah, you could be a
Oh,
prophet.
do we believe that there won't be any more prophets coming?
No,
Like
we
if
believe there
somebody-
definitely will. Mashiach will have to be a prophet.
No.
We believe that we're capable of, but this exile has... It's hard for us to reach those levels of nivwa under the circumstances in which we're in right now.
This one rabbi got to be a prophet, then he doesn't want it because God gives him idea what's going to happen to this person, what's going to happen to that person. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
So
No.
there's a Hasidic Rebbe called Rav Klonim Eskalman Shapira Av. Do you know where he's from? You've heard of him? The Piasetzner Rebbe.
Yes, that's
Piasetzner Rebbe he wrote a book called the Eish Kodesh, the Sacred Fire, and a number of other beautiful works. And in there he tells his students, you could be prophets if you just believe in. And he gives them a whole way how to become a prophet.
It's a job. It's a job.
But it's possible. Right now we don't have it though, unfortunately. With Allah we will. God willing. Alright. That's where we're at in Hamas Big Dashan.